Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for January. I hope everybody's well. I am going to take a quick second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Taurus out there. So guys, take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, Taurus, get in where you fit in, but as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Taurus? Taurus. All right, Taurus, you are starting out with the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Strength card. And you have the Two of Cups in the reverse. All right, so Taurus, I feel like you're not on the same page with somebody here. This could be a soulmate. I feel like there's been a breakup. There's this sense of not seeing things the same, but it does look like you want a new beginning here. I do see you're very focused on your money. I'm also seeing that you may have a large sum of money coming in this week. You are trying to overcome things here. I see with the Strength card, you feel strong emotions for somebody, but at the same time, you may be questioning, if this person is really good for you or not, since you're not seeing things the same. So let me see who's in your energy, Taurus. Show me who is in Taurus energy. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Sun card in the reverse, Leo energy, and we have the Six of Pentacles reversed. Well, I can tell you this person's very unhappy right now. They lack clarity as to what it is that, what it is that either they want or what's going on between the two of you. I do feel like this is somebody who is not really, dating or going out a lot. This person could have somebody that is in the background kind of watching them or watching what they do. Could be an employer, though. I do feel like with the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, you did have a stable relationship with this person at some point, but that connection has eroded. There was a destabilization of a solid foundation. I will also say that this person may feel that you broke some sort of a contract with them. It could have been a social contract. It could have been a spiritual contract. I don't know, but they feel like there's that you broke that contract. With the Sun in reverse, they're unhappy and they lack a lot of clarity. They could be keeping very quiet right now. There could be hiding some things or just things that are not, out in the open or known. They are trying to release this connection currently since the ending of your relationship. So let's see the energy between Taurus and this person. The Four of Cups. Yeah, neither of you are really doing anything. You're both kind of in this energy where you're looking back at things. You're kind of both sleeping on this connection, if I'm being honest. There's a sense here of you working very hard, working on your finances and your money. This person, their finances could be a little bit uncertain right now. And so neither of you are really paying attention to one another. Let me see... show me what's affecting the connection. The Seer in reverse. All right, so you may be trying to work up the courage to reveal something to this person. There's something here that's going to be revealed or has been revealed that's going to affect this connection. But I don't think it's them. I think it's you, because you're finding the courage to do this, to conquer something here. And I feel like in their energy, they're not even going to see it coming. Let me see the outcome for Taurus. Show me the outcome for Taurus. Six of Swords. Yeah, you're moving towards something more peaceful. You're leaving the chaos behind. You're leaving unhappiness behind. So Yeah, something here. There's going to be clarity that's going to come into the situation. You've kind of been anchored to this sense of being on a separate page, or this ending. The ending must have been very chaotic, because you've been anchored to that chaos, and I feel like you're just on the verge of moving forward, moving into something more peaceful, but it's going to require a very truthful conversation here. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. This is underlying energy, and it does indicate communication with somebody that you may have kind of gone to war with. There was definitely some animosity back and forth. There was a gap in the communication, and there is some communication that is going to come forward now. It also indicates that there's a need to heal something here. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Ace of Pentacles here for Taurus? Okay, so we have the Three of Swords reverse, and we have the World in reverse. Yeah, you want to heal this connection. You want a new beginning with this person, Taurus. There's a sense here that while neither of you have really been paying much attention to this connection, you've been really working on your money. I feel like you've never really felt like this was over between you and this person. There's unfinished business here. There's a sense here of there being a lot of heartbreak as well. There could have been some third-party energy for some of you, but I do feel like you feel there's unfinished business with this person. Let me see why the Strength card is here. Could be dealing with a Scorpio. Page of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Okay, so I don't know if the third party may have been on your side. Somebody has walked away from somebody, though. I feel like, yeah, there's a sense. It's almost like, Taurus, you had somebody new in your energy. You may have walked away from that, and it took a lot for you to do that. There's also a sense here of walking away from immature communication. You know what, Taurus, it looks like somebody new came into your energy. And I feel like that person was a bit of a snake. And I feel like you've walked away from that person. You've walked away from that person. It's caused you to not really trust your intuition. You might reveal some of this to this person here. It looks like someone different, though, because you don't feel like things are over between you and this person. Let me see the Two of Cups reversed. All right, we have the Ten of Cups, and we have the Seven of Wands. So you had a lot of love with this person. That you really did love this person. At one point, you were very, very happy. And then it looks like outside influences began to affect the connection. And you began to get very defensive. There was a lot of chaos happening. And it looks like this connection ended. And you're very defensive about why it ended, how it ended. But at the end of the day, you're remembering here the happier times. And you want to fight for your happiness. You want to fight to move out of this chaos. It almost appears to me like you took up with somebody else that really caused you a lot of pain. They were a snake. But you've exited that situation. And now I feel like you are going to come towards this person because you never got over them. Let's look at their energy. Why is the Three of Pentacles in reverse for the person in Taurus energy? Knight of Cups and the Five of Cups. Yeah, this person's been very sad. They've been very sad. They have feelings for you, but they're hoping that you will come towards them offering this cup of love. And at other times they question, does Taurus love me at all? They're looking back at the past. They're remembering things from the past. They're trying to take lessons from the past. but they feel like you don't love them, Taurus, because I feel like they want you to come towards them with this cup of love. This is somebody you had an established foundation with, and that foundation crumbled. And I feel like it may have crumbled. You may have met somebody new. You've now left that person finding that they were a snake in the grass, and your mind keeps going back to this person. Your mind keeps going back to the person and the happiness that you once shared with them. So let me see. Why is the Sun in reverse? Why is the Sun in reverse? Let's try that again. Page of Swords. They're doing some low-key spying on you. Not in a weird way, but I mean, they could be looking at your social media because they feel like they're trying to figure out what it is that you've been keeping secret here. What is it that you've been, you know, hiding from them in your absence? We have the Nine of Swords reversed. Yeah, they don't know what's going on with you. They're just trying to figure out what's going on with you. I feel like this person is tired of stressing, tired of worrying, tired of being unhappy. There's a lot of unhappiness in their energy. So I do feel like they kind of check your social media to see what's going on because they feel like in some way, you know, it gives them relief to know that you're not with this past person. Let me see. Six of Pentacles reversed. The Chariot and the Justice card in reverse. Yeah, they feel like you did them wrong. They feel like you treated them wrong. And so they feel like the best thing for them to do is to, you know, release you, release the past, and to move forward. Yeah. Let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. Show me the energy between Taurus and this person. You could be dealing with a Libra. All right, so I have King of Cups reversed, Six of Pentacles reversed, and Temperance reversed, Sagittarian energy. All right, so this is very unbalanced connection. One of you was being, maybe even both of you, was being a little bit unforgiving and ungiving. I feel like in your energy, you do love this person. You have a lot of love for this person, but you're not expressing any of that. You're keeping that to yourself because you don't feel like they were giving enough to you. In their energy, their emotions are up and down. One minute they're feeling, you know, slightly happy. The next minute they're feeling unloved and unhappy. Their emotions are up and down, up and down. There's a lack of balance in both of your lives. They feel like you breadcrumbed them. They feel like you're responsible for ending this foundation. So this person needs healing. And I feel like you've kind of closed off your feelings and emotions. So you need healing as well. There's a healing to go around here. And instead, it's like both of you are kind of ignoring one another. Yeah, you don't feel like things are over, but you're not willing to like express your emotions. And they don't feel like things are over either. They're hoping that you will come towards them. They definitely feel like they were being breadcrumbed or treated unfairly, though. Let me see why the Seer is in reverse. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Three of Wands reversed. Yeah, this person is starting to feel like their future is just not here. They're trying to get some sort of understanding. They feel like you were keeping secrets and that they found out what those secrets are. And it does, in fact, Taurus, look like you may have been keeping secrets about, you know, someone new in your life. You didn't want this person to know about it. I feel like there was also some deception when you walked away from this connection. But I feel like all of this is going to be revealed. I feel like all of this is going to come out. I feel like whoever you were dealing with that was not this person, I feel like that person became like a snake in the grass. And it took a lot for you to kind of get that under control. And you've walked away from it. But I also feel like you don't want this person to really know what's going on. Unfortunately, it looks like they already do. I feel like this person is tired of waiting to hear from you, waiting, to have happiness and clarity in their life. So they're starting to come up with the idea that you're just a deceptive person. You aren't being honest and truthful with them. You're keeping secrets, and so therefore they must move on. Let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome for Taurus. Okay, so we have the Empress. We have the Page of Cups reversed. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed. And we have the Two of Cups also reversed. Interesting. So I feel like you're very defensive here, Taurus. You're defensive about this new person that was in your life. You don't want to talk about it. You don't feel like you owe anybody any apologies for that. And there's a sense here of, you feeling justified, I guess, in your stance. So I feel like, you're very defensive, even though you feel like you could be happy with this person and you remember those happy times. You're coming across as being unapologetic, shutting things down, not wanting to talk about things. This person already knows about this other person. They already know about it. I feel like whatever it is that you might be trying to not talk about, they already know. I feel like they want to discuss it though. And in your energy, you're like, why can't we just be happy? Well, why do we have to talk about these things? And so there's a bit of defensiveness here. There's a bit of feeling like your back is up against the wall, like this person is pushing you, and you're absolutely not going to talk about it. And so I don't see this coming together by the end of the week. I don't see a change in that. In their energy, this is, you could be dealing with a Libra or a Taurus. Very strong Libra energy here. Cancer energy is also here. But this person is saying, okay, you know what? If you're not going to balance this out, you're not going to come clean with me. You're not going to talk to me. You're not going to, bring justice to this situation. Then I'm just going to have to move forward. I'm going to have to release you and let you go. You're not communicating with me. You're not giving me the emotion. There's nothing tangible here. You're not offering me anything. And so I have to let myself, go. I have to keep from being anchored to this chaos, and I have to move forward. I am the Empress. I know my value. I know my worth. And, this is not it. So you're still not on the same page with this person. I do feel like there is love here, and that's why this is so unfortunate, because it's almost like, Taurus, you love this person, but there's a sense of you making an enemy out of the person that you love here. So, there's a need for you to trust your intuition, to move in truth without deception, without any kind of, secrets. A need for you to be an open book here. And I can see you're very uncomfortable with that, but that is what this person is wanting. The two of you actually do have deep feelings for each other, but nobody wants to express it. So, bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit in the reverse. Now, that is a very similar energy to the Four of Swords in the reverse, but it's one where, it looks like you're going to go back to the drawing board, do some more searching, do some more figuring out, trying to find the answers to this, because it's just not resolved. But yet you can't find the answers that you want right now either. It's an energy of somebody who's doing soul searching before they speak. So, yeah, I can see that I can see this is a big deal, but there's a lot of defensiveness that needs to come down and a lot of healing that needs to take place on both sides. All right, so I'm going to pull an oracle card, Taurus. All right, it says assertiveness. This situation can be healed gently and with love as you've requested. Yet there's also a need for your strength and truthfulness with the other people involved. We will stand right behind you as you speak your truth, giving you strength and guiding your words. Wow, so that is basically Spirit saying that you need to open up. You need to, you know, speak with truthfulness and have the courage to do so. So you are being guided, and this situation can be healed gently. It doesn't require somebody to go in with force. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you, Taurus. If you have resonated with this, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Taurus, know that you are loved, and namaste.